Yet in the event that it comes to getting monstrous, where someone will be attempting to kill me, I must accomplish something first, or effectively keep that from happening since they plan to do something to me, with this bullish mafia mindset, with him and his thugs. And everything like that, nothing happened, no cash. So I quit recording, so I won't be, and stay here. And do everything for everyone, you realize you owe us a collection. You owe me cash. Craig Mack was brought into the world in the Bronx, New York, and raised on Lengthy Island. He started rapping as a teen under the name of Mrs. His most memorable single, Get, was delivered in 1988. Through New Records, the single was supported with and credited as MC Asian Troupe Macintosh, became companions with individual Long Island hip bounce act EPMD, and in the end proceeded to visit with the team, taking care of responsibilities as a roadie following a couple of years. Without positive progress in his recording vocation and app separation, Mac made the most of an open door that Alvin Toney spread the word about workable for him. Alvin was a music maker from Wyandanch, who is credited as having found Craig Mack. Toney created Mac's 1994 hit tune Flava in Your Ear by getting a record managed brushes, recently established Mark Terrible Kid Records, very much like a piece of sizzling your feed inside my stomach. With the eggs between, Tony kicked the bucket in 2023 at age 54, and his demise impacted numerous who saw him as a positive impact on numerous locally. One of his acquaintance said his surprising commitments to his local area and to the games and diversion fields, particularly hip jump culture, can't be undervalued. He was a believed guide and a boss to his local area, who set his sympathy, don't in motion anything here. Without this man, he used to give us what we didn't see the value in. The hip-bound star Craig was the main craftsman to deliver a collection on P. Diddy's Awful Kid Records. Yet how could he run over Diddy? He caught scene brushes then, at that point, known as Puff Daddy outside the New York club Mecca, and made a move to rap for him, basically dazzled brushes, put him on a remix of Mary J. Blige's You Don't Need to Stress, and consequently offered him a recording contract. Terrible Kid Records delivered Mac's laid-back debut collection project, Funk the World, in 1994. It was pushed into the grass by progress of Flava in Your Ear, particularly the remix, which highlighted sections from famous B.I.G.L.L. Cool J, and the then obscure Busta Rhymes. The single with guaranteed platinum, and designated for a Grammy the next year, while the subsequent single Get Down went gold music. Yet things weren't as smooth. Before very long, turns out Craig had a significant run-in with Diddy, and that is when things began to go downhill for him. So what prodded this change? As per sources, Diddy and Craig didn't completely agree the financial subject in regards to their collection. Craig professed to not have gotten compensated by Diddy, and big deal he made sense of in the entirety of its brilliant subtleties that went down with him and Diddy. As per Craig, he consented to do tunes for Diddy at the arrangement that he'd get 133% of the income. Yet as he kept on chipping away at his tunes, he didn't get compensated. Until at last one day, he became irritated and quit working for Diddy. Through nothing happened, no cash. So I quit recording. I said I won't be, a bonehead, and stay here and do everything for everyone. Craig likewise referenced how large he and Diddy ganged up on him and apparently savaged him for abandoning them. Craig clearly wasn't the one to keep calm, particularly when it came to invalidating dishonest complaints. You realize you owe us a collection. The most terrible piece of this run-in was that it wasn't tossed away from view. Rather, it swelled into something dreadful with a ton of crimes. Included. Craig referenced that he was being compromised by Diddy's helps, who might follow him and post dangers. Craig happened to boldly allude to Diddy's methodology as a bullish mafia mindset. With this bullish mafia attitude, with him and his hooligans, and everything like that. When that didn't stop Craig, he depended on additional vicious means, as death dangers. The fight warmed to a limited extent where Craig dreaded for his life. He stalled at a meeting discussing how the passing danger lingered over his head. Consistently, Craig, additionally, didn't move in an opposite direction. From expressing that Diddy plan a hit on him, they plan to do something to me, yet they didn't. It isn't whenever Diddy first has been blamed for criminal propensities. He has a background marked by crude moves. Back in 1997, Brushes was accused of attack after severely pulsating Introscope Records chief and NAS director Steve Strong. The assault was supposedly prodded by a disagreement about a music video's delivery in November 1998. Brushes and afterward sweetheart Jennifer Lopez were captured and accused of criminal ownership of a weapon and of taken property regarding a shooting that happened at Club NY multiple times Square region. Setting besides the great suspect in the homicides of Tupac Shakur and Christopher Wallace Big Deal Smalls, is Diddy. The rundown of his horrifying violations is unending. This may be the explanation that Craig was frightened for his life. He knew Diddy was equipped for killing him. He had even conceded to conveying weapons, consistently with the end goal of self-protection. Assuming the need emerged, yet assuming that it comes to getting monstrous, where someone will be attempting to kill me, I must accomplish something first. And it was close to this time that Craig depended on God. He turned out to be completely strict, and, surprisingly, left his collection mid-creation and went underground. I realized that it was God conversing with me. You understand what I'm talking about, a result of the manner in which it caused me to feel sincerely. I stalled, began crying all once again, the spot in the vehicle he stayed away from. Public examination for a decent 2 or 3 years. Fans value this motion since it showed up, so he'd have chosen to leave music and commit his life to religion. One fan remarked all the malicious in the business drove him to God. One more added, no matter what the peculiar person and odd faction, I accept Craig Mack's relationship with God was private and veritable. And that is the only thing that is important. This remark indicates the following portion that should be uncovered. The Craig appeared to have turned into a piece of an obscure church he had himself, bound to a corrupt religion on the cusp of collapse, and shown to a man portrayed by one minister as a canine and one casualty, as Satan in the tissue. This man is Ralph Gordon Gase. This evening, a lady who says she was exploited at a Walterboro church. Once her voice heard, Minister Ralph Stepp charged and sentenced for different sex wrongdoings. An examination uncovered a reiteration of claims, even doubt against overcomers, pioneer interviews with previous individuals, and an investigation of court reports arriving at back many years have uncovered the so-called benefit long-term olds Gase to be a sequential sexual assaulter, asserted attacker, and pedophile who tainted his casualties with sexually transmitted diseases, and educated one young lady on the best way to prompt an unnatural birth cycle, which he dreaded. She was pregnant with his kid. And this doesn't actually start to cover the offenses of Gase, who evidently drove Craig by the guest. Yet Craig wasn't the main casualty. One more casualties surfaced with a comparative story of how she got tangled in this wreck and couldn't escape the faction for quite a long time. I was sex-trapped at 17, and afterward I hopped into the service. Somebody